The third quarter of Game 6, one of the greatest offensive quarters in Atlanta Hawks playoff history, and it really cemented the game. Atlanta wins it going away here in Brooklyn to capture the series in 6, and now Atlanta gets set for Washington. And Nick, that was some offensive performance. Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague with his passing. DeMarre Carroll couldn't miss. I mean, it was some performance.
When I look at this game and you think about the starting five, it seemed to me that every one of them got 20 points in this game. You know, you look at Jeff Teague, who didn't score in this game but had 13 assists, but it was so many other things he did in this game to make it good for his players, to make his players get into a rhythm. He accounted for at least 30 or 35 points tonight in one way or the other. So it was just a beautifully played game by that starting five. They didn't let up. Like you said, Kyle Korver got going, Paul Millsap got going early, and then I thought Al Horford did a great job in the second half of getting in his rhythm, getting that mid-range shot going. And again, just everybody fed off that energy.
The only bad thing about this, we don't have a chance to enjoy it for very long because now the Hawks have to jet home and get set immediately for the second round, and that begins Sunday, 1 o'clock against the Washington Wizards. Before we get into Washington, Nick, let me just ask you about the turnaround, because this is going to be in less than 48 hours. The Hawks are back on the floor against a rested opponent.
But you know what? I look at it as it could be an advantage for the Hawks, too, because you got to understand, Washington has been resting. They swept Toronto, so they've been resting because they may come in a little rusty. The Hawks have been playing, so they're already in playoff mode. So going into Sunday, I look for them to still be pretty sharp.
Now, would you say the offense is back to where we saw it in January?
That's an understatement. It's definitely back. The way they played throughout this game, particularly in that third quarter where they exploded, you won't see better basketball than that from them than they played tonight.
Now Washington. Hawks won the season series 3-1, and the only defeat was when the Hawks benched a lot of starters there late in the season up in Washington. I think a lot of fans and a lot of media are going to immediately look to the point guard matchup, John Wall and Jeff Teague.
That's going to be a wonderful matchup. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch. You got two speedy point guards. You got John Wall, who's a little bigger than Teague, but those guys have played well against one another. But I gave Teague the advantage throughout the season because of the turnovers. John Wall had over 20-plus turnovers in the series against the Hawks in the regular season. So that's going to be a key matchup.
All right, and it all starts Sunday at 1 o'clock at Phillips. We'll see you there.